Yeah,
It's messed up, but that's what I got. I didn't like it because I felt like it was just very fucking edgy, and it is very fucking edgy. But I don't know. I've seen Berserk. I think it's worse than that.
Berserk.
Yeah,
I heard Berserk was very very sexually violent.
yeah.
It is. Uh,
I mean, I don't know, man. I just felt like people just started to overreact to like any detail possible. Like I'm pretty sure that's not the biggest problem with the ending. At least I have.
um, anyone else?
I guess no one else is gonna join, so maybe we should like slowly start. I don't know, like introducing ourselves and just like I don't know, just start debating further.
All right.
Unless you still want to wait or chill. I don't know.
I mean, right now is actually a really good time because my siblings are gone
Okay.
right now, so I don't know where they are.
Oh, well, my mind is not gone, but he's gonna be chill.
You're
So
what now?
hey, no, I'm just joking. Don't worry.
I didn't even hear what you said.
No, I said like, I have a sibling as well, but he's gonna be chill, so we should
Oh,
be safe.
all right. So I guess I'll introduce myself first. For those of you who
Yeah.
don't know, I am Blue the Jaegerist. I am an Indian defender, sort of. Isayama apologist for sure. Favorite chapter is 137. That's a little bit of a trivia fact, but I will not debate that. And yeah, I'm a debater, Indian defender, and I'm also a Jaegerist because I did and still do support the Rumbling.
Uh, just nice introduction, I guess.
Thank you.
Uh, I mean, I don't feel like I
Oh,
don't
someone else
think
joined.
people don't. Oh, hello there. I
Hello.
don't think people know me really well from Attack on Titan. I mean, some people do, at least the server, but like, I'm Velocious. I am the self-proclaimed plot Chad. It's fucking cringe, but I'm just gonna go roll with it. It's my identity now. Uh, I like to make Attack on Titan videos, or like, right now I moved to our manga. And I don't really talk about Attack on Titan all that much, but like, I can make an exceptions for some people, I guess. Uh, I don't really like the ending. I don't think it's the worst thing out there, but I just don't really like it, I guess. I am the guy that supports the 50-year plan, I guess. And that's about it, I guess, with my introduction. And I guess since this server is full of like schizophrenic people, I don't think Attack on Titan original ending is gonna happen. Just to like point this out as a very important detail to introduce yourself, you know. Okay, maybe that was too much, but yeah.
Alrighty, good to know. So what? So you don't think the ending is that good? Why?
Uh, Multiple reasons, I guess. Do you want me to start with the long answer or short answer?
You know, let me get my notes first, then you can go to the long answer.
Oh, I was gonna go with the short answer anyways. That's yeah, sure.
Okay, so go ahead with the long answer.
Okay, so first of all, I feel like I'm just gonna like name reasons, just list them out, and
Okay,
then like can go like over each one briefly. I don't want to overstay your time.
okay, thank you.
So I guess the first reason is Mikasa itself. I feel like she's the
Is
worst
Mikasa?
thing. Yeah, I just don't like that she was basically treated as the girl that saves everyone, and it was all about her choice, which to me felt like she was the least developed character in the story, and she didn't deserve that role. I feel like that just fundamentally ruins the whole series to me. I guess the second reason is Aaron himself. I don't disagree that the direction Isamo was taking him. I just feel like the execution and the reasoning provided by the story just didn't make sense to me. This third reason was basically uh, there was no attempt from Isama to suspend my sense of disbelief at all. Like every battle was purely it was just basically plot armor, plot conveniences. Like a lot of characters should have been dead, or at least they should have been like harmed. There was literally no stakes at all. Like I could tell that this is being like Isama was afraid to take stakes. I don't know why, but like he cannot hide that, and it was so obvious that like he doesn't know what he's trying to do, and he doesn't know how to end the story, so he just like tried to save the favorite characters or something like that. Uh, I guess what else is there to say? The dialogue itself, it just gotten
I'll
a
agree
lot
with you
worse.
there. I would totally
The
agree
dialogue
there.
just got so much cringe. Like Attack on Titan used to be like that story that like similarly to like Full Metal Alchemist, where it like has this like tonal shift of comedy. You know, like characters like Kenny, like they can like make jokes mid battle, but like they never ruin the tone. Unlike in the last battle, it was just so cringy and like it wasn't Attack on Titan at all. And I guess another thing is just inconsistencies in the storytelling. A lot of stuff that should have been explained, like for example, Aaron and Carla, that was they just didn't really explain it in full proper detail, so the audience just got confused really. I guess what else is there to say? Uh, Flashbacks. It's no one can really tell if Aaron was slave to like his memories or he was just so dumb that he just felt like, okay, I'm just gonna rumble because I saw my memories. Like you can't really tell if he was just slave or if he was just going full psycho. You can't really tell which one was it. You're just kind of forced to believe that it was a mix of both, but like it doesn't really make sense because he wasn't before like literally like a clinically depressed person to the point where like he loses his mind. Like he wasn't like that, but like he also wasn't like a slave to something. Like he always had like some sort of goal in his mind that he would try to accomplish. And I feel like the ending didn't really showcase any of that about his character. So it just felt like this time I didn't know what he wanted to do with his character at all. Like that was one of the biggest disappointments. And I don't think I can name everything that I don't like about the ending out of my head, but like I feel like these are like the major reasons. I think like while we will be debating, I will remember more reasons why I didn't like the ending, I guess. But for now, I don't want to waste your time, so I feel like
I
that's enough
see.
for now.
I see. So you think, so you don't think that Mikasa deserved her role, and you said her role
Yeah,
was to save everybody?
yeah, like she was basically key to the story, and she did nothing to get that role, nothing at all.
Hmm.
Like she basically was. Ymir needed to see it. Like take like imagine this in 2000 years, Ymir couldn't see a single person like Mikasa.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, who writes like that? Like, you can tell me, like, this is definitely forced. Like, no, you cannot tell
Wait,
me
I don't
that
think
this
it's
was like a
forced
natural decision.
because, well, the thing is that Ymir was committing a global sin because the Titans were going around destroying all these different areas and all these different places. And Aaron was also committing, you could say, a global sin. And Mikasa's the only one to stop it. Everyone who's had that power has never stopped using that power. It's always to come to the power and continue to go off on their imperialism. It's never been
Mhm.
stopped. So the fact that, I mean, maybe there was a situation where a girl could have a better relationship or this or that, but the amount, the depths of love that Mikasa has for Aaron and the sin that Aaron is doing, I think that that was a pretty rare combination.
I don't think so because first of all, it wouldn't explain why did Ymir side with Eren in chapter 122. You know, if
What do you
she
mean?
really thinks like that, then she has no reason to side with Eren. Like, no reason at all.
Why not?
Because she's basically killing God many knows how many people just because she needs to see some person to make a decision. Like, it just feels so dumb in a way. Like I can see like the whole poetic thematical point, and how it could connect to the characters. But when you look at this like logically, like from the that perspective, like you can achieve this in so many different ways, but like not making Ymir side with Eren. Like she basically accepts his offer. Like
Well, I think
she helps him to kill like multiple millions of people, and then she's like she was all about like Mikasa's choice. Like that's no. Mikasa was anti-genocide. I don't know if Ymir was pro-genocide or anti-genocide. Like it wasn't really established, but like
hmm
if she takes Eren's offer, and then I'm just going to assume like she either doesn't care about it or like she's just in Eren's side.
I think
I can't take it that she would be like someone like Mikasa.
I think that she wanted to take out her rage on the world by rumbling it. I don't think that she was just going out there. I think they both had mutual interest in doing the rumbling, each for their own reasons.
But I would argue that she should have some self-awareness that the reason why this rumbling is happening is because of her inability to make a choice. And the only choice she's making right now is making things even worse.
Who, Mikasa or Ymir?
Yeah. Mimikasa. Sorry, Ymir.
What do you
Like
mean?
she should understand that like the only choice she's making right now is just making everything worse.
Yeah, she's been making everything worse for the past 2,000 years.
Yeah, but like she should have self-awareness about it.
I think she knows it. I mean, I don't know whether we know or we don't know that she's self-aware of that, about all the pain she's causing, but I think that she obviously wanted to continue the Curse of the Titans, and she wanted to rumble after.
I mean, as far as we know about the Curse of Titans, it was basically the first king. You know, it was his will that she like carried out because
Mm-hmm.
I guess she loves him, so like she
Yep.
was slaved. Her love, like, to him was a slavery basically.
Yep.
And that's why that's how like I guess Royal Titans works in general because of this connection that Ymir has to the first king. If she didn't have that connection, maybe like the whole Royal Titan thing wouldn't even exist
Of
if I
course
got
not.
that detail correctly. But
Yeah.
so basically, that's how it works. And then like it just kind of doesn't make sense. Like for example, when Eren saves her, like then she is no longer following the King Friend's ideology. She's just following Eren because he's not nothing like the first King Friends. He doesn't have his blood or anything.
Yeah. But
So like it becomes convoluted in that sense. You can't really tell what she's thinking. You can just make assumption maybe.
I mean, yeah, maybe it could have been explained better, but I think we see a clear pattern, especially when you compare her to Mikasa. The exact same thing happened to Mikasa. She got over Aaron, quote unquote, by killing him, and then we see her later. She's soaking for 4 years, right? And then after the bird wraps the scarf around her, then she's finally like completely free. Like she's no longer tethered to Aaron anymore. So it's a two-step process that we see in both Ymir and in
Mhm.
him Mikasa. So the first step for Mimir was Aaron telling her that she's not a slave, right? In 121 or 122, whatever chapter it was. And then it's seeing Mikasa. Then she gets to quote unquote sleep well. And then for Mikasa, it's killing Aaron and then having Aaron understand her love for her, which would be the bird wrapping the scarf around her. Then she's finally free. She gets married and she lives her life. Blah blah blah. So I think it's sure you could say it's not explained well. I agree. I mean, we never really see what's going through Ymir's head. We always have to make these assumptions, but I think you can make a pretty good assumption that that's what was going through her head.
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna make like the most logical assumption, but like sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that the writer thinks the same way.
Yeah,
That's the kind of problem,
yeah,
and that's why it's kind of convoluted in that sense. Is the writer should have made it a little bit clear.
yeah. I can totally see why you're saying that for sure.
Yeah, like
Remember,
a
I said
little
the
bit
ending was six
more.
out of ten. I never said the ending was perfect. I said it was a 6 out of 10 from the beginning. Okay,
Yeah.
don't tell me I'm gonna have another debate interrupted.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh,
So
okay. Let's see what else
yeah.
is.
Okay, so wait, what was I saying? I
You were
got
saying
distracted. I
that
forgot.
we can make conclusions based on what we see, but the writer should have explained it more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just feel like we don't have enough context. You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
it's just like I mean, some people can say it's subtle, like you solve the puzzle yourself, but like if there's a lot of missing pieces, and are you really solving anything, or are you just like buying the lie?
Yeah. Okay.
Because with Ymir, like it's you can see it however you like, and it might fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I guess like, going to Mikasa, then like I just kind of see it different. Like I knew from the beginning that it was obviously a lie when Eren said that he hates her, that he thinks she's a slave.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't make sense. Because like it would be the same as saying that Kenny became a slave to Yuri, and that Levi became a slave to
Well, of course, there's a lie. That's of course. Yeah.
yeah. But like a lot of people actually believe that.
Yeah.
and then uh and then you have like Eren, like he was kind of confessing his feelings to Mikasa in 123, I believe. But like he
In what
just
now? What chapter?
in 123, yeah.
123.
Yeah.
I don't know what name that to
The
you.
chapter where he says, "What am I to you?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
That one was kind of like a confession, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's called the
Even though it
confession.
was,
It's called a confession in the
even
anime.
though it's, it was kind of sketchy. Like you can see it however you want, but I guess I can see it as a confession,
That's
being like Aaron
yeah,
is like this sort of guy that is when it comes to like romance, he just doesn't know how to speak. So I wouldn't be surprised that this is how he comes across that way.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. So it's not like out of possibilities or anything, as some people would like to claim. But you know, when it comes to Mikasa, like I feel like their whole dream sequence was basically Eren just guilt tripping Mikasa, making her feel bad for like trying to get Eren out of the
In
world. And
138,
yeah,
you feel like
the
he's trying to
dream.
guilt trip her into doing what now?
Guilt tripping her, like showing her like the images of like the paradise getting destroyed, and showing her why he can be with her.
Why he
Because this
can't
is
be with her. Okay.
kind of won't accept this version of Eren until she finally does accept him. And then Eren just tells her that like you should move on from me, your life will continue. And she just thinks that no, I can still, remember you. That was kind of like I feel like that's how I see it. I see this moment really.
Huh.
I mean, I guess it's like up to interpretation, but I feel like it kind of makes more sense in that way. If you look at chapter 1 to 3 as well. Like where like if they just try to escape, right? Eren just kind of shows that it's not him as a person. Like he would never escape. And Mikasa trying to like say that what if she chose a different answer? Because she asked herself, I don't remember what was the chapter. Maybe 1 to 4, maybe 1 to 3. But she asked herself like what would happen if I
I think
chose a
it's one
different
two one.
answer. I mean, I don't really remember, the chapter, but it could be one that as well. But but I do remember that she specifically said that what would happen if
Yeah.
he chose a different answer, and then Aaron like directly shows her what would happen, and he just basically tries to guilt trip her because we actually don't know if that's what would happen in the future. We don't actually know if like the whole world would still invade paradise. Maybe it would be just Marley alone. We actually don't know, but Aaron made up like this
That's true because he didn't do.
dream just to like guilt trip Mikasa into thinking that like she's the problem here.
I see. I've never heard that interpretation before in my life. Okay.
I mean, yeah, like that's why I'm not your usual ending the hater. I'm just kidding. That sounds so cringe. Jesus.
This is the strangest thing I've ever heard of it. So, okay. Well, I mean, I honestly 138's a mystery to me too. But from what I can gather from it, it looks as if it's just Aaron. It's Aaron pulling her into the past so they can spend some time together before she kills him, and then after that, she has the power to kill him. I guess. Uh, but
I mean, yeah. I
whether
mean,
Aaron would have liked that, I don't know what Aaron would have rathered. I'm pretty sure he would rather the 138 outcome, just from what I hear on 139. It looks as if he regrets doing the rumbling. But then again, part of him, it looks like it doesn't regret the rumbling. So,
mhm.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I mean, yeah. I guess you're right. That he did show her like I guess he tried to make her happy in a way. But I still feel like Aaron is that sort of guy that he would still say what he really thinks. So I don't think like guilt tripping is impossible. I feel like he just gave her what she wanted, but at the same time she shows her why it's not possible. Like just why.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he tried to guilt trip her just so she would like move on from him.
Oh yeah,
And that's
yeah. I can definitely see that.
that's that's why like he said that your life will continue after me. That's why Paradise will get destroyed. Even though apparently Aaron's real goal wasn't like to protect Paradise as much as it was his own freedom or whatever that means really.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah.
So, like, if you look at this context of what the story has provided, it just makes sense to me. Even though I don't know the chapter 138 is good on its own, so I don't really have a problem. I just feel like it makes sense that Aaron would be someone that would say, "I don't mind, having a relationship with you and like having a pleasant time, but like at the same time, I don't want to like let my island get destroyed." But at the same time, his whole goal is about like very abstract 20 seconds of some sort of site that he may enjoy or not. And it's like, what do you mean? I'm pretty sure the whole development and build up was for something else, not like this like very vague idea of freedom. Like for like if you read Trostark, for example, like his like definition of freedom was like basically removing the walls and like do not let people live in like ignorance, you know, like do not make them ignorant of like their surroundings and stuff like that. And then
Yeah,
like he just makes completely opposite things. He makes people Indians even more ignorant than before, and he just makes things even worse. Which to
of
me,
course.
one could argue that like it was the irony of the fate, like you became what you took an oath to destroy. You know, you could say that, or maybe it was just like
Like you know
blatant
what?
plot like hypocrisy or stuff like that. Like
Like what?
it's really hard to tell which one is it. But to me, it just goes more to like the idea that I feel like it was just Isama just changing the way he sees Eren because he like had like his whole development, I guess, like after like the basement reveal, he kind of changes personalities in a way, and I feel like that's the byproduct of Isama just not knowing what he wants to do with the character himself, and he changes the versions of him. Like sometimes, like he's Hobo Aaron, where he's like a bit more mature,
Mm-hmm.
he is more cold, calculative person. Then he goes 180, and he becomes more like rage star, like, doesn't like control his emotions at all, lashes out at the people, goes almost mentally insane, like completely opposite to what he was. Get it? Gotcha. And then like he becomes into a simp, I guess.
A simp.
Yeah, for Mikasa in a moment, and then he just also doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and why he's doing that. Like it's like none of that is like bad in my book. I just feel like there's like three different versions of a character, and I'm not supposed which one is real, which one is fake at this point.
Why can't all three of them be real?
I mean, sure, but like that would be like how do we put this?
Well, I
Like,
think we all know that Hobo Aaron was sort of pretending, not entirely. I don't think any version of Aaron was entirely pretending, but I think we can pretty much deduce that Hobo Aaron and War for Parody Aaron were projections.
I mean, I just look at it this way. What does Manbun Eren, the War for Paradise arc, Eren have anything like any reason to lie or pretend? He kind of does. Like the same with the last arc, Eren. Does he have anything to lie, or pretend? He kind of does. And when I look at Hobo Eren, is he really lying? Like, does he have any reason to lie to like people like Reiner?
Okay.
I just look at it and he seems honest to me. It may be
To Reiner,
it might be my biases and all, but I don't feel like he has any reason to lie in Mario, at
when did he
least.
lie to Reiner?
I mean, when he was talking in chapter 99 and chapter 100 with Reiner, I don't think he said any lies to him or
I
anything
don't
like
think
that.
so either. Are you saying it's a contradiction or a retcon?
Yeah, I do believe that Hobo Aaron like was a normal progressing state of Aaron, and then like in the next arc, his development is very inconsistent. Like it doesn't really fit his character because he basically reverses back to his old self and
Mm-hmm.
becomes even more like angry and loses his emotions and control, which kind of undoes the whole development of his like the whole point was that he succumbs to anger too soon, too quickly, and he learns how to control that anger only just to waste it like in the next chapter, which to me made no sense.
I think the reason why he did that is because of uh, Sasha, because he saw the future, right, and he thought he saw a good future for him. He was going towards it. But then when he wanted the outcome of Sasha dying to be changed, so we know that he saw her dying because we know that he knows her last words, and so when he tries to change this, or presumably we can assume he tries to change this, he does the same exact thing. And when he figures out that she's dead, he does the same exact thing he does when Hannes dies. And what does he say when Hannes dies? I can't change anything. And so he's actually in this. Well, my theory. I don't know if you think this is true or not, but my theory is that he is realizing. Wolf of Parody Aaron is realizing that he cannot change the future that he saw because there's only one timeline, right? So in order for this future to happen, it can't be altered. It has to play out exactly how it is. And since he can already see the future, he doesn't feel like he's free. I think you alluded to this earlier, saying, did the rumbling come from his memories, or did it come from himself, or where is it? Where did it originate from? Sort of like the bootstrap paradox. So I think that whole idea makes him feel very unfree, and that's why he's the character that he is in Wolf Parody.
Oh, I would agree, but there's one problem I have with this theory, I guess,
Okay.
is that like if you look at Uprising arc, didn't he learn all of this already? That like he is not free, that isn't special, that he cannot change what will happen. Like he already saw the futures. Like not really future memories, but he saw
In
what
the
happened with the
Uprising
Great
arc?
Shah. Yeah. Didn't he like learn a lot of those things as well? Like he because in the Uprising arc, he literally developed like survivor's guilt
Yeah.
syndrome, right? Where like he feels like that his life, he doesn't feel worthy to live anymore.
Yep.
And he kind of learns to still value his life and move forward. And that's how his development carries out in Mario. He knows that, there's things he cannot change, but he still moves forward. He doesn't know the answer to those, questions that he has, but like he just tries to find and still do something about it. And then like Manbun Aaron to me is just like completely dropping this development. Like it's not out of character for Aaron to have another, outcry and say that he's still worthless. He hasn't changed one bit, and it's like totally normal for him to cry for Sasha. There's nothing wrong, but I'm pretty sure like at the end of the day he has matured in that sense that he knows he can't just stop there. He still must keep doing his things,
Yeah.
and
I
then
don't.
like he just basically he knows that like those things and he just still goes back to like his childish self. And it's even more extremes. To me, it's just, I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
think.
like this sort of writing.
I don't think he realized he wasn't free in the Uprising arc because he didn't even get the. He did get some memories of what happened to the royal family, but he got selective memories, but he didn't get the memories of the future that he sent to his father. Right. So the whole concept of him being a slave to his memories that didn't start until the Wolf Parody arc.
I mean, I feel like the whole concept of slave, I feel like it started like with the basement reveal when he literally says like, uh, once we kill the people outside of the sea, we'll be free. I felt like like this whole like slave memories developed from there already. Like he already looked depressed from there, and he kind of
Oh
already
yeah.
like when you look at like the flashbacks in chapter 131, I believe. And chapter 130, he already sees that like he knows all of this is gonna happen, and he just like tries to battle his mind that no, this won't happen. And then like you have chapter 100 where like he basically accepts, this whatever happens, he accepts this, right? And that's why
What happened in
he
chapter
like push,
100?
you know, yeah, that's chapter 100, like where he talks with Reiner, like he gives his hand to him and says, no, I'll just keep moving forward. Doesn't this already prove that he accepted like whatever is gonna happen to him?
Accepted what?
Accepted his fate, basically. What he sees in the memories, he accepted those things,
Yeah, but he tried
and
to
he still
change.
chooses to move forward.
He wanted to
That's
change.
what happens.
He wanted to change a certain outcome in.
No, no, no. I mean, if I read chapter 100, I'm pretty sure he looks at the crowd, he looks at Reiner, and he just accepts what's gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it doesn't make sense. No, doesn't make sense to me that he still wavers like later on in the story when he accepts those things already. Like it kind of makes the whole like Marley arc cheaper because of it. Like it makes it had no meaning in the story, and that's why I guess it's not a secret anymore. But I'm a huge Hobo Aaron fan, I guess,
Oh
and to
yeah,
see
he's a
that
big Hobo Aaron
his
fan.
development just got like just kind of thrown out of the window to me. Because to me, it definitely looked like he accepted the future members in that arc. He accepted everything that's gonna happen to him. That was like the whole point that he knows this is gonna happen, but he still keeps moving forward, right?
So
And then like he kind of doesn't seem like he accepted anything in the end.
what do you mean? I think he did. In which one? 139.
I mean, 139 Word for Paradise as well.
I mean,
Uh, I mean,
he.
does he really strike it as a person that accepted what's gonna happen in the future, like after Maliar? It just doesn't look like to me.
Yeah, but then when Sasha gets killed in the airship, it seems like he wanted to. He knew that her last was going to be me, and he wanted to change it, and he has the exact same reaction. He does the whole laughing thing. It seems to me as if
Oh yeah.
he wanted to
I
change the
mean, I
future.
mean, it's ironic, kind of, sort of, turn of a fate, but like he still knew it was gonna happen, and he accepted it. Like I just look at it as like he is having grief, but he still has to keep moving forward. Like that's what his
Okay,
basically
move
whole
forward
point
towards
of the
what?
character
Move forward towards what?
to his goal.
Is it his goal, or
Which
is it a
is,
goal he just got from his memories?
I mean, his goal was always to
That's
create freedom to the create safe paradise. Like that's what his mostly concern. Like
that.
from the very beginning of the story, when he had no idea of future memories, when he had no idea who he is as a person, he just hated the walls and he hated ignorance beyond anything else. And he wanted to say, create this environment for people where everyone can think for themselves and not be influenced by the walls.
Yeah, but
That's what he called, like, that's what he wanted to describe as a freedom. And that sense of freedom is long gone now.
I know that that you're saying that his nature fights for freedom. But I'm saying the fact that he doesn't know where his ideas come from because he's a slave to his future memories.
He does know where his idea comes from. Like he described it was mainly from Armin's book and his realization that he was never free. So he kind of knows where it's coming from.
Yes, but is it coming from his future self or his present self? Is he going? Is he going? Is he setting up pieces to go towards
I mean,
a
if the
goal?
story started out as him seeking freedom, then it's definitely not from the future memories because he already was like that as he was born.
He says in 139 that he all he did was to uh, achieve the future he saw in his future memories.
I mean, he also says in chapter 100 that he was born like that.
I agree with you. He says the same thing in 139. Well, he didn't say it, but it's implied. What I'm saying is
No, the
that
implication was slightly different in chapter 100. In chapter 100, the implication was that he will keep moving forward,
yeah, I
for the
agree.
freedom.
I agree. What I'm saying,
And in chapter 100, what was that freedom? I feel like he wasn't referring to the rumbling, and like killing people for like reasons like seeing a landscape or something like that, or like seeing volcanoes. That wasn't the reason why he was rumbling.
of course not. He says it to Ramsey. But the thing that I'm trying to say is that he says in 139, at least part of his motivation was just going after a future he saw in his
Hmm.
memories, not that he wanted to do it and he was just setting up pieces, setting up dominoes to see the eventual ending. So I'm saying is that realization that he wants to fight for freedom and he cannot change his own nature. Basically, you could say he's a slave to his nature because he cannot change the future, but he wants to be able to change the future. That is what I'm saying. That's why Hobo Aaron goes into Wolf Parody Aaron.
I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean to like?
What do you mean? Okay,
Like you're a free person, but you're. I mean, I know what is.
okay,
There's this
yeah,
one concept called like the person is free. Everyone is free, but like you're not free to unwish what you wish.
okay. Let me explain it this way. Let's say, how do I explain this? Let's say like I see a memory of me going to the movie theater in a month. I want to be I want to act independently of the future that I saw. So I plan to go to the golf course. But instead I end up going to the movie theater instead because it's in my nature to go to the movie theater instead of going to the golf course. So you see how it looks like I'm a slave to fate in a sort of way. That's why people a lot of Titan folkers say that Aaron's a slave to fate and it ruins his character, blah blah blah. That sort of layer to having this person who wants to be free and act with full autonomy see an unalterable future, and him saying in 139 that he moved at least in part just to set up pieces for the end goal and not because he actually wanted to, at least in part. That's what I'm saying. And of course, on top of that, having Sasha die, which is one of the biggest things he wants to change. That's what I'm saying. Hobo Aaron regresses into Warfare Parody Aaron.
I mean, I feel like that's more of a like time travel theory concept. Because like people to this day keep debating whether the actions we take are like our free will or like everything is predetermined.
Yeah, determinism.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, but like that's just basically the philosophy of like this time travel concept. Like no one really knows the answer. So I don't know if you want to like keep talking about it, but
I
like
mean,
to me, I don't feel like it really matters if you know your future. If you're gonna take the action that you take, right? Then at the end of the day, you're the one that takes this action.
oh, for sure. The thing is that we have the luxury of being in comfortable situations where we're able to think about this stuff, and we do not see the future. Aaron, as he said, on top of all the stress he's being put under about the war and all this, and pushing his friends away, he also even admitted that his head got messed up because of the founder's power. So I think it's reasonable to assume that his guilt combined with the founder's power, combined with this realization about his future memories, would all contribute to the regression of Hobo Aaron.
I mean, that sounds to me like just way to turn him into plot device. I do not believe that you can write a character that basically loses all of his agency. Like
He
this
doesn't.
to me sounds like he is losing agency in like whatever he wishes to do.
He doesn't. Well, he doesn't lose his agency, but it's the thing. Aaron, at least in part, feels like he is losing agency, but he definitely does not lose his agency. And yeah, you brought up in chapter 100. That's what it's that is alluded to. It's actually explicitly said there, and then in 139, it's implied. And of course, if you want to, we can go further into this whole thing, but he definitely does have agency. It's just the fact that he doesn't, at least in part, feel like he
I mean,
lost
what
agency
agency does he have if everything is predetermined by his own mindset?
because everything is predetermined according to his will.
And what does that actually mean?
As okay, here's an example. As I just said, if it's already predetermined, so to speak, that I will go to the movie theater in a month, this does not mean that I lost free will. The reason why it's predetermined is because it's in my nature to go to the movie theater and not to go to the golf course. You see, so that's how that works. But you could see how someone could confuse that with losing agency because it's already predetermined, so to speak.
No, but like this is fictional. The thing is with fiction, you're developing a concept or concept like to a character. This is whole point is freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like how Aaron treated freedom for the rest of the story before this concept was even introduced. Was it different or was it the same?
It. Oh, I think it was the same, but he acted like it was different things. That's
I,
what I think.
I don't really see how it was the same, but I'll listen you out.
Well, I think I think when he was 9 years old, he told us what his freedom was. But later on, he joined the military. He talked about killing the Titans. He talked about seeing the sights in Armin's book. Those were all symptoms of what he thought would be freedom, right? I think what he said when he was 9 and what he said of Ramsey is actually what he wanted for freedom.
Okay, so I'm just gonna reference, I guess, how Aaron himself saw as a person and how did the people around him see him as a person before this concept was introduced. And then I'll make a comparison how he was showcased once this concept was introduced, I guess, to make a point.
Okay.
So firstly, we see Aaron like I guess I'll repeat a bit some of the stuff was said, but like firstly, he was seen as like as the person that hates the wolves, like that he was biggest hatred that he had for something before the Titans killed the people. It was the
Mm-hmm.
wolves. He
Yes.
hated them. He
Yes.
hated this ignorance surrounding the whole town. He wanted to leave this sort of shithole environment and live for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted people to also think for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That was like kind of his freedom. Then he also sees people trying to like steal someone's freedom, like Mikasa's, and he
Yep.
rushes in to help them, to save them, you know? So like you could say that he has some sort of sense of freedom. I can't like pinpoint what exactly it is, but to me it sounds like he was basically a person just that didn't like when you basically have no birthrights, but like you when something is stolen from you, like he doesn't like that, and he believes that it belongs to you and should belong to you. That's why he fights for that reason. I feel like that was his definition of freedom, and that's how he sees freedom himself, and that's how he described it in Thor's. Like for example, when he turned into Titan for like first or the second time, and he was carrying the
I
boulder,
remember. Yeah, I
literally
remember.
stated saying that we were born in this world free, and we have the right to fight for all of them.
He
Then we
says
have characters like Hannes and like what was that arc? Oh yeah, Clash of Titans arc, and where he describes Eren saying that he always runs away from the people, but no matter what happens, he always fights back. He always stands back, and he always does what he believes is the right thing to do.
Hmm.
So that's basically the whole story. Not Aaron himself, but like even the side characters. That's how the story describes Aaron. Like I don't think that you can even try to argue that this is what Aaron always was. Like in the very beginning of the story, this is what characterization was, and then it's gonna be my humble guess. I guess I guess it's not humble, but like I guess I think Isama just didn't like what he wrote with Aaron, so he decided to introduce this whole slave to the fate concept in him, and he just kind of forgot what kind of a person Aaron is. Because this person he just doesn't give up. He just doesn't like want his people to suffer. And it makes sense why he would rumble in that sense because he developed a survivor's guilt after all. He doesn't want to see people die. That was a part of the reason why he rumbled because he doesn't want to get he doesn't want that the people that died for him like would just get that their families would also get rumbled. Like he didn't want to see that. That's why he rumbled in the first place, and that's why it's happening. This whole thing it wouldn't even happen if the rumble wasn't a problem to begin with.
What'd you say?
Future memories are not.
What
So
was the last part you just said?
so what part?
You
Sorry.
said this whole thing would happen of what now?
Oh yeah, this whole thing wouldn't happen in the first place if the rumbling wasn't the thing, you know.
What whole thing would
And
happen?
then and then you have the story introducing that, yeah, actually, his whole freedom is about seeing volcanoes and
No.
like him experiencing freedom, which is like
What?
killing people, which is it wasn't
What are you
ever in
referring to?
say like that, that this was his freedom.
What are you referring to? I don't. What
No, I'm
seems
referring to like his definition of freedom and how the story described his freedom as in the very early on, and how it progressively got explained as it was his hated for ignorance and the desire to give people equal rights, you know? At least his friends and the families that he shared.
But who
He didn't
mentioned
want people to.
volcanoes? You mentioned he got changed to liking volcanoes.
No, it's like the chapter 131 and 139, where he basically sees a side. Like, also chapter 121, where like basically mentioned that Aaron says that what a side it was. Like, he was doing it to see something, right? To feel free for a moment. But was that
What?
actually his freedom from the beginning? You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh well, yeah.
That's why I'm
He
saying
never
it wasn't.
wanted to
It never
see
was shown
nature.
like that.
He never wanted to see. Aaron never between chapter 1 and chapter 139 never wanted to see nature. I don't know where that's
I'm
coming
not talking
from.
about nature. I'm talking about that his whole idea of freedom was for that very moment. When the whole story before that never actually implied
Implied what?
that his freedom is seeing a sight or like
It did.
rumbling because he
I
wants to.
I, I have it right here. It says he says whoever sees. I'm gonna quote it directly. Hold on.
I mean, you can just send me a panel. I can just see it.
Okay. Here it is. This is from the when he's picking up the boulder.
Flowing water, islands, capes, or whatever, whoever gets to see those things can call themselves the freest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that the context is a bit different, like in the whole arc. Like
It's
the whole context is that he thinks that people should see those things, that they have the right to see it, and that's what
yep.
makes them free. And that's why he says that everyone is born in this world. That's what he later on follows up by.
Yeah, but when he
Like the,
sees these things, particularly the ocean, and in when he sees the ocean, why isn't he happy? Or let's say that that's a retcon too.
I mean, didn't he say in Trust Arc that he knows that that he wasn't the same as Armin. Like he kind of
Yeah.
knows that this is not his freedom.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree with him on that. He's
So
definitely.
why he's acting surprised if he already knows that?
Why is he acting surprised?
I mean, why? Sorry, why the people acting surprised
Who's acting
that he
surprised?
doesn't share this? Doesn't share the same sense of freedom as Armin. Like he
Who's
kind of already
surprised?
said that before that
Yeah,
he knows that he's not the same as
he
Armin's.
said he said he gave
That's
up on that dream in when he was.
I don't think he gave up on that dream. On that dream, he just realized that his freedom was more something different.
He said he
He
gave up.
just wanted.
He said he gave up on it in what was it when they're trying to
Can you
ram?
show me? Because
Yeah, I'll try to find it.
because maybe I just misremember something,
it's
or maybe
midnight.
the context was a bit different.
It's like a
My
midnight sun or
opinion.
something. It was when they're trying to save Erwin. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah, but like he saw Armin's bright eyes from what I remember. But what I also remember is Aaron saying that he fights because he wants
Hmm?
people to have this death freedom as Armin. He wants people to experience all of this freedom. Like that's still like basically what it was from the very beginning, like him fighting for like equal rights
Equal
in the sense that
rights. I
yeah,
mean, I can sort of
not
see.
not literally, but more like how to put this, like he wants to fight
Yeah,
for the idea that everyone can experience the same sort of freedom as Eren or Armin. That's what he wants.
yeah,
He wants to
but
see people cheerful as Armin. That was his kind of freedom.
the thing about that is that we mostly see him act as an individualist, not collectivist
No,
in the
that's
end.
not correct because the whole point was that basically he literally says this out loud when he was eaten the first time, with the Santa Claus Titan. He literally says that he hates that Titans took
Hmm.
everything away from the humanity and they no longer can feel free. And he wants to restore that back. He wants to give humanity back to freedom.
I didn't say
That's why he was
I didn't say
fighting.
he didn't care about other people. I'm saying he mostly cared about himself and his friends.
No, 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 not just friends.
What's that? Well, he said that they were more important to him than everyone else.
Well, yeah, your friends are more important than humanity itself, but like still,
Okay,
he was fighting
so
for those things. It wasn't just because he wants to see a landscape, but from the very beginning, his main goal of freedom was to get back what was stolen from the humanity or his friends in that scenario, whatever you want to say it.
yeah,
It's still more or less the same goal.
but
And then the story is trying to tell me that his definition of freedom was just seeing this one landscape in that one moment.
no, that's what I was trying to tell you. Here it is, right here.
Well, it kind of is trying to tell me that.
When?
Because it's literally when Eren is rumbling, he sees that side, as he said in chapter 1,
Hmm.
what a side it was. And he actually reaches that side, and he doesn't feel that he likes it anymore, and he just stops at that moment. So, doesn't this kind of the story telling me that this was his actual deepest desire all along? Which, in my opinion, is false because that's not what the story started before.
You think that the site was what he saw in 131?
Yeah, that was his deepest desire, according to the manga.
Yeah, what he said to Ramsey in 131. Yeah, but how is that
Yeah,
not
but
consistent?
but if you look at this characterization before, like the whole future memories thing, before it was introduced, his idea of freedom was completely different. So I kind of feel like this is inconsistent in
I don't
characterization.
think it's inconsistent. He says he applied it to the kidnappers when they're inside the wall before he knew what the outside. Well, before Orange Sudden Book.
Oh yeah,
Then it happened to
because
the
they were trying to
kidnappers.
steal Mikasa's freedom, and he rescued her.
I
It
agree with
makes
you.
sense
That
that
was
he will
true.
save her.
But then he said about the Titans, and then now he's saying about the humans. It's the exact same. It's the exact
I
same
don't think it's the
template.
exact same. He just did the right
He
thing,
literally
you know.
says the exact same thing.
I feel like that's what the story's trying to force people to believe.
Believe what? Well, he says the same thing from
In a way,
since.
like look at this that way. If a story hasn't established that this character believes in this and this thing, right? It can use the thing called recontextualization, where you kind of change the context in a way. Sometimes it works wonders, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I believe this is the moment where like you try to change the context of the actions, but it just kind of becomes inconsistent. So I feel like that's the problem here.
How's it become inconsistent? He says he wants. He says he calls the kidnappers animals. He says they need to kill them. Then in the Titans, he calls them animals. Says he needs to kill them. Then with the humans, same thing. Says calls them animals. Says he needs to kill them. I don't understand what the problem is.
You hear me? Sorry.
I said I don't understand what the problem is. How Aaron's changed. Aaron looks like he's been the exact same person from since he was 9.
Yeah, he was a sort of person that if he sees that someone is in trouble, he will help them, you know, and he will try to restore the freedom that was stolen from him by the
Mm-hmm.
people. Like that was his whole ideological battle with like the Fritz family as well. Like they were the people that initially stole the freedom from people like him, and he wants to take back that freedom that
Yes.
was stolen from him. So why now all of a sudden that the deepest desire is actually some sort of landscape?
It's not a land. Well, it's not a landscape. Obviously, it's not what he doesn't
I
want
mean,
to
that's just
see.
how I'd call it, but you know what I'm referring to.
I I actually don't. Are you talking about 131 where the freedom panel that you're talking?
131, yeah, that one panel. That was, as he said himself in chapter 121, what a side it was. So that was his deepest desire for the rumbling. That was
Are you
his
trying to tell me
like
that Isayama wanted Aaron's deepest desire for freedom to be a panoramic view of smoke?
yes. That's what happened in the manga.
I can see why you don't. Okay, well, obviously that what he's doing represents something.
Yeah, it represents something that also I believe is a bit inconsistent.
It represents him. Well, number one, just right off the bat, right? If you are simply speaking, the more powerful you are, the freer you are. Take for example, like your boss. Or I assume you go to work, right? But your boss,
Yeah.
right? Your boss has more freedom over his schedule than you do. Why? Because he's more powerful. Just off of a simple surface level observation, Aaron has the most power in the world right now. Everything, as Grisha said, everything's going to happen according to his will. That's
Well,
what.
but that's merely interpretation. Some people interpret power as more burden and responsibility. Also makes them bigger
Oh,
slave.
I totally 100% agree with him. I'm saying on a surface
I
level,
mean,
from a
I just feel
childish
like it's
perspective.
kind of an interpretation thing. You can't really boil it down to simple things like freedom.
Well, I'm actually going to. There's actually a deeper layer to this, which is what he says to Ramsey. But he is doing what he always wanted to do, which was when once he learned that humanity survived, he said he wanted to wipe it all away, right? And that's what he's doing.
Mhm.
Humanity survived, and he's wiping it all away. And we see in 130, he has the exact same language. We're talking about the Titans, we're talking about the kidnappers. He calls them animals. So I
Yeah,
think he
he
has,
wanted to wipe out away the Titans that steal everything away from him.
yeah.
And
I'm not saying
he,
it's right or
but
wrong.
that's the thing with Hobo Aaron. He was developed. He spoke to people with his enemies. He even slept with them, eat the same food with them. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
But
so he no longer hates them. He just thinks that
he
it's
still decides to kill
beyond
them.
his simple comprehension of I fight, I live. It was more about like just doing what he thinks has to be done at this point.
He still wants to kill them
That's
afterwards.
how he develops as a person.
He went behind Falco's back and almost got him killed.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he did it because he felt like it was a good call. That's all.
Falco's a good. He did it. Well, we know why he did it. He told Ramsey why he did it. Or it's
No, I'm talking about the Falco where like he
that's a
are you
retcon.
talking
That's what
about
I
like the
said.
letter that he sent or am I
Yeah.
missing something?
No, I was with the later said. I'm just saying he. Yeah, you mentioned that he like matured and he understood people. He didn't hate them anymore. I see what you're saying. I'm just saying. I was saying 131's a retcon, which I think is what you are saying. Aaron says why he wants to kill them. He wants to kill them because he wanted the world to be like what it was outside of Arm's book. He wanted it to be empty and humanless. And so, since the world wasn't the way he wanted it to be, that's why he rumbled, and that's what Aaron said. I, and
Okay, but like I want to look at this way. If there was no danger of paradise being destroyed, would he still rumble if this was his actual desire from the very beginning?
if there's no danger of Perry being destroyed, I think Perry was a pretext for the rumbling.
So you want to tell me that you believe that Eren would still rumble the whole world even if there was no danger at all?
I don't I don't know if he would or wouldn't. I know, but I do know that Perry was a pretext for the rumbling.
No, but I feel like that's kind of important to know. It would help us to understand if he
Well,
intentionally rumbles or if he rumbles out of self-defense.
no,
Because
he definitely does not rumble out of self defense, and we know that because he says it to Ramsey.
okay, so that means that if there was no danger to Paradise at all, he would still rumble then.
Well, the reason why I say that he wouldn't, that there's a chance he wouldn't rumble is because he's telling himself it's for self defense, which would make it easier for him to do it.
So he's having a coping mechanism then.
by using parody to
No, not no. I'm saying that he has a coping mechanism to like trying to justify himself in any way, because his head is getting fucked over by this whole slaughter.
I
Not no, not everyone can handle that.
I think
So he's kind of coping.
he says well he says right there in well coping yeah I mean I think there's a lot of scenes of people using coping mechanisms in the manga. I don't know why you brought that up. uh was there like somewhere you're going with that?
No, I'm just going with that because I feel like in 131,
Mm-hmm.
he just uses like this whole idea of him, how do I put this? Rumbling. Like he just trying to look ways to justify what he's doing.
I think 131 he's admitting his why. I think in 131 he's admitting why it's so evil for him to do the rumbling. I don't think he's trying to justify himself in 131.
No, he did admit he was trying to justify himself, but it was also beyond that. It was about seeing something. Like he wanted to see everything out, and it's like, okay, but like, was he really like that from the very beginning as a person? That's what I don't believe. I never seen that before.
You've never seen Aaron act childish before?
Not childish. I never seen him having tendencies to destroy literally anything and everything because he feels like it.
I mean, he went to the survey corps, he killed the kidnappers. I don't know. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
like
saying those are
that
for bad
that
reasons.
wasn't that's not but that's literally most of it was self-defense.
I
It
agree
wasn't
with
like
you. And the rumbling was also for self defense. The rumbling was a
yes, it
necessary
was
thing.
self-defense. But that's what I'm saying. How can we actually know that this is not like just his coping mechanism?
That that making himself appear to be more evil in his internal self is his coping mechanism.
Yes, look at chapter 139, why he
I
snaps back to like this
I
whatever you want to call that
I did
person,
look at
right?
what I did look at 131. Oh, the child. Yeah, I think. Well, I think that the child could be a lot of things, right? Coping mechanism for him being a child in 131 is definitely on the table for sure. I'm
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this whole childlike appearance is just showcasing his ignorance that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing anymore.
I'm talking about 130 with his conversation with Ramsey when he explains why he did what he did. That's what I'm talking about.
Same,
What's that?
same here, man. I'm just saying that I feel like
You feel like
he's
what?
just trying to justify his rumbling, and
He did
because
not.
I've
He
read
never ever just. He exposed himself for the evil prick that he was in 130. What are you talking about? He exposed himself that had nothing to do with parody, or not.
no, that's not
Not that it had nothing
no.
to do. Sorry, not that it had nothing to do with
He
it.
does that, but at the end of the day, he's still just trying to find ways to say why he's doing that, which is the same as justifying.
Okay, can you? Okay,
What's the difference there? I don't see any difference because
between
to
what?
me,
Between what? You think
between trying to say that he wants to do it as self-defense or him just saying that he wants to do this all along, like it's just one way or another, he's just trying to find a way to say why he's doing that. That's all.
yeah. Oh,
Because look
he's
at him as a person, he always looking for an answer why he's doing that. If he truly was that like that, then he wouldn't need to look for an answer. He keeps always looking for that answer. He always has these doubts. He doesn't even know himself what the fuck he's doing anymore. That's my point.
he doesn't. Okay,
Like
he,
every single time I look at him in the manga, post like basement review, he keeps always questioning himself. The only moment in the manga where he doesn't really question himself anymore, and he just keeps moving forward, is the Hoba version of Eren. Every other version of him, I mean, it makes sense before like Hoba Eren because he was still like trying to look and find an answer, but at least I think that he found an answer in like Maryar, and then later on he still is looking for the same answer that he, I guess, didn't find somehow. And when I look at chapter 131, like that flashback, he's just looking for an answer why the hell he's doing that. Maybe it's future memories.
he's.
Maybe he wants something deeper.
What makes you think
He's
he's?
just looking for an answer. Like his mind is destroyed at this point. He just doesn't know what he's trying to do at this point. That's what I'm trying to get at across.
So you're saying he
And that's why
doesn't.
I'm saying it's kind of justifying. Maybe the usage of the word justifying is wrong. But that's how it looks to me. Like he's just looking for excuses to say why he's doing that when he doesn't know it anymore.
So you're saying Aaron doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing? Huh?
So I don't know. Maybe I wasn't just clear enough. But do you get my point now?
Yeah, I was okay. So are you saying that when Aaron is talking to Ramsey, he's just trying to talk to himself and figure out why he's doing what he's doing?
Beluga, I can see the green circle in you, but I can't hear you. So just saying, just in case.
It was probably that fucking racer AOE bitch. Hold on a
I
sec.
can't hear you at all.
I know you can't hear me. Hold on.
Is it just me?
Hello?
I can't hear it all, man.
You cannot hear at all.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe we should like call this part one and like uh continue later once you solve the issues because it's almost midnight here. I probably might go to sleep at this point.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm having fun at least.
Can someone let Hey, can you guys hear me? You still can't hear me? Can you hear me now? I swear it's these fucking Hello? Hello? You still can't hear me. Okay, type if you can hear me. Fuck. I can't. This is why I don't like coming to this server. Everyone always fucking. Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? It's